for them, to retain them rather than going home, because as it is, our economy is such that everybody is hand to mouth. We are registered with NITA and everyone.
Yes.
And we do encourage interns come in.
Yes.
Because it's in their program. They come in for 2-3 months. They learn the system. And if we feel they're good enough, we return. Don't have institutions who train people in expert divisions that we require them here. Like, for example, we have shortage of people who can actually provide patterns for garments.
What interventions do you think need to be put in place?
We want government intervention to come in that restrict a few items which can be done in Kenya, and we do them in Kenya and stop importation of that. If they could invest in proper technology, in the latest textile machines and everything, would be a very great help. As the textile sector, the challenges which we face is the lack of expertise.
Welcome to another edition of KAM Live. Today I'm at Omega Apparels. We were talking to Mehul and he's telling us about the impact of COVID-19 on their business and how they've managed to remain top of their game.
Uniform has been a major chunk of production, and as we know, all schools are shut down and not opening in the near future. So we had to very fast think over now what. I have 350 people on an average, and while every business was shutting down and everything, it was my duty and obligation to make sure that I find some work for them, to retain them rather than going home, because as it is, our economy is such that everybody is hand to mouth. We are registered with NITA and everyone.
Yes.
And we do encourage interns come in.
Yes.
Because it's in their program. They come in for 2-3 months. They learn the system. And if we feel they're good enough, we return them.
How do you feel we can build the capacity of our young people, the young generation that you're talking about, to be able to feel, this sector and grow it?
Internet and social media and everything, a lot of awareness of what's happening outside. And what entrepreneurs here local want to do is just improvise themselves into what fashion they can produce themselves. Like, people are making their own, using our local materials like the shukas and the kikois, and coming out with beautiful garments which they could just sit home and design and do a small scale industry.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all and sundry. Thank you for joining us this afternoon once again for the Fashion Central show at Kenya Association of Manufacturers. What a wonderful day. I know it's cold, but we've all changamkad for one reason or another this Friday. And I'm so grateful that you could make time to join us for this 1.5 hours. As usual, our show is going to focus on the textile and apparel sector in the country. And today we are looking at activewear. And what a weekend to look at activewear. I mean, we have the Safari Rally in town and everybody's talking about it. We have seen your memes, we have seen your conversations, we are laughing, but it's also a good time for us to inject some little bit of sober conversation on sports. and sportswear and activewear in the country, and where we're at as a country and what we can do more the next time we are hosting the World Safari Rally in the country. So I'm going to be taking you through this session. My name is Sally Cahill, and I'm hoping that you will also send in your comments and your questions through the hashtag Kenyan by Design. I've seen that you shared your shoes, your Kenyan by Design shoes, and we're going to be awarding the winners of the hashtag Kenya by Design. By the end of this show, you're going to be receiving some DMs, some tweets from Kenya Association of Manufacturers on what you won, thanks to some of my panelists here today. So asanteni sana. And yeah, let's keep it a lively afternoon. I'm looking forward to your tweets, your Facebook posts, and anything that you have. If you want to send me a text, if you have my number, please feel free, send a text and I will read it out. So today, as I said, we are focusing on activewear, and we've been running this campaign, Kenyan by Design, with a view to look at what our country can do towards the textile sector and how the textile sector can interlink with other parts of our culture. So the textile sector does not just stand on its own as a textile sector. We need to see how we can promote the textile sector in order to promote what is best about our country, whether it's talent, skill, and what have you. And just some facts, the shoe development dates back 10,000 years. Egyptians used to use sandals to play football. We had the Romans who used their shoes as weapons against their enemies, but it has evolved. In 1860, we saw the evolution of shoes into sports shoes, but they were not really sports shoes. People were still going with fashion. So if it's skates, they would just put skates on boots, leather boots, and call that sports shoes. But just going on into the 1870s, that's 1873, the word sneaker came into the vocabulary. And so now we are calling them sneakers, and we can see rock and roll stars, hip hop stars. We have our own Kenyan hip hop stars who wear sneakers. But what are we going to do about our own homegrown inventions? So I think my first set is just to talk about how in Kenya we have the best in almost all sports. We have the best in javelin, we have the best in swimming, we have the best in football, rugby. We have stars on stars on stars recognized worldwide. And how are we using this brand? We have Eliud Kipchoge. He's actually making a movie. I don't know if you've seen that, but he has a movie out and we'd all want to watch this movie. But why is it that that brand was first recognized internationally before we actually capitalized on it as the people who own this brand, as the people who fed this talent on our soil and nurtured this talent? So we can see globally also that we have the developing economies have actually perfected the art of using their talents to blend into other parts of or other industries. So you have Serena Williams endorsing something, you have Usain Bolt endorsing some shoes or some caps, some active wear. The developing economies have perfected that, but we have talent as well, and I don't know why we've not been able to tap into that. We're going to have that discussion and more. So allow me to now introduce my panel, and I'm going to just guide their conversation. They're going to be the ones telling you their stories. I will start with the person on my right. She might be a familiar face to a lot of you. Miss Carol Radul. She's a media personality, a sports enthusiast, a mentor, an Arsenal fan, big Twitterati. Is that what they call it?
Saying a Gor Mahia fan.
A Gor Mahia fan,
then
definitely.
You say an Arsenal fan.
A Gor Mahia fan, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to hear what you have to say about this subject and this topic. I'm sure you have a lot to say because we have seen some of your sentiments, heartfelt sentiments about sports and how sports is treated and what also industry can do. I mean, it's historical, it's systemic, but how can industry come in right now? And as I go further onto my right, I have Mr. Vidyesh Shah. He is the CEO and MD of H&F. And you see these happy socks in front of me? That is what H&F make, but I'm sure he'll be happy to tell you the story of H&F, how they've grown, what you're doing now, what is new in the market, and how these collaborations can begin to impact both your business and the country. To my left side, I'm going to introduce Mr. Sagar Shah of Alphanit, CEO and MD. Karibu sana.
That's a promotion KAM gave me.
Oh, is it?
I'm the general manager, but
Okay.
soon, maybe.
Soon to be.
KAM is in the future.
Demand the
Well, we are
salary.
glad to be part of your future. This is why we are here as an association. No, I'm kidding. But Karibu sana to
Thank
the
you.
show. These are your products,
Yes,
and you're going to be talking about them shortly.
with pleasure, yes.
Thank you so much for coming. Miss Linda Karaoke.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you doing?
Good, good. Wonderful smile.
Thank you.
Miss Linda Karaoke is from Umoja Rubber brand. She is the marketing manager. And Umoja Rubber has become one of my favorite brands for some reason or other. And I'm sure you'll highlight why for so many Kenyans since the Changamka festival, you have been somewhat of a name in their households. So you will talk about that and Umoja Rubber and the impact that you're making. And then lastly, but definitely not least, we have Mr. Biko Adema. He's a Kenyan rugby player, an athlete, a mentor as well.
Yes, I am.
Yes, and a coach.
Coach and currently also working in education.
Wow, so
Yes.
you're a teacher?
Yes.
Awesome. I didn't know that. I only knew the
Now you know.
athlete part and the coaching part. So karibuni sana, and let's just kick off this conversation. Carol, I'm definitely gonna start with you. So I've made an introduction of why we are having this conversation. The complexities in the sports industry. Does Kenya have activewear? How do these two industries begin to collaborate? And to you, what do you think can be done to tap into this space?
Okay, where do I begin? An active sport industry, which unfortunately, as Kenyans and fans, we are, I think, very brainwashed in that we tend to support outside before we support inside. Not just in the teams, but also in what we wear. Today, by the way, I consciously wore Enda sportswear. From my friend Navalayo. This I got on Instagram, but it's also a Kenyan company. But we, for the longest time, even how we support our sport, before we even get into the apparel, we support you. You started with Arsenal. I wish you started with Gor Mahia and then Arsenal. I think there's room for both. I don't think we abandon what we like about foreign sports, but we have to recognize what we have at home. When Biko was speaking, I was doing this for a reason, because I'm a fan. I've known him forever and a day, but I need a selfie before he leaves. No, that's how I feel we should be treating our local sports people, but we don't. There's a time, I think it was Anyang Nyong'o, who said Catherine Dereba can't walk in the streets of New York because she's known as Catherine the Great. In Kenya, we don't even recognize her. So how do we then try to convince people that these are the same people who can market our active wear if we don't even recognize them as sports people? So we have such a challenge in the sports industry, and it starts with us recognizing the value of what is at our doorstep. A few years ago, I was asked to help Athletics Kenya market national trials for, I think it was an IAAF tournament. And I told them, can we tell them that it's as good as watching the finals of the world tournament? When you're watching national athletics trials at the Nyayo Stadium, you're watching world-class athletes, but we don't even recognize that. We need them to go to another country with all the fanfare and the opening ceremony and all that for us to say, wow, look at Team Kenya. You know, these guys, Akina Biko, well, he's not active nowadays. Are you retired officially? I think so. I'm not sure, but we have the national 7th circuit, which is huge, but we need them to go to Dubai Sevens or Vegas Sevens for us to say how huge they really are. But they're here on Gong Road. They're 5 minutes from my house, you know. But when do I go and watch them there? But I will fly all the way to Vegas, the jungle that I am, to go and watch them in Vegas. So there's a lot that has to happen in terms of how we begin to perceive and appreciate what is ours. And I guess that's why we're having this conversation today.
Absolutely.
That, I mean, there are obviously other challenges, which I'm sure we'll get into, whether it is design challenges, whether it's quality, whether it's price challenges, things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good introduction, and I'll talk more later. I don't want to finish all my points.
I don't know.
I did research.
You cannot finish all your points, trust me. But I don't know if it's perception, because on the one hand, we have people saying, I don't think there's anything that brings Kenyans together as when and people are in the streets of Eldoret with big screens just watching and cheering on. But then on the other hand, there is this thing where you're saying somebody can just be walking down the street and everybody just doesn't know culture kind of thing. But also, like you can, like as you say, somebody can just pass and guys are like, oh, that was Nani. So maybe it's something that we need to start to deliberate on as a country, because I mean, some people
within the federations and the government and the sports ministry, there's a lot of marketing and awareness that needs to happen as well. A lot of people didn't even know that Eliud Kipchoge had attempted sub 2 before, 2 years earlier, and he didn't make it by a couple of seconds. But the second time around, because there was so much more marketing around it, has also allowed everyone to be a marketer. Yes. There was a lot more conversation. Yeah. But there are things that are happening that we don't even know, and you can't always blame the fans. Sometimes I blame the federations and the sports ministry and ask them, what marketing have you put into this, you know? Yeah. There's so much happening. I think there's this, he'll tell you that we're about to host, is it the Bates Cup or something? A huge rugby tournament Kenya's about to host. Yeah. I guarantee you people don't, because I follow all these guys on Instagram, but people don't know. But there's so much happening, but I can't criticize you for not knowing or appreciating if I haven't marketed to you. That's true. So it's a combination.
It's good that you brought in the marketing aspect, because I have the industry very well represented here by Mr. Vidyesh and Sagar, and I'm going to put you on the spot as the industry today. but I think the industry has a really big part to play in terms of marketing the national brand. And I don't know what you think in terms of where do you see yourselves going as your company, Alphanits.
Yes.
All right. So you have this, and maybe you can begin by talking about this, but also tapping into the aspect of marketing that she's talked about.
No, as an industry, I mean, what we do is we develop the apparel the sports industry wears from their feet, to their head. Unfortunately, in this country, they don't buy a lot of apparel locally for activewear. Like you said, a lot of them want Nike or Adidas, brands that have been developed internationally. And you can't blame them, because those brands, they put a lot of research and development. So when you're working out, you're pushing yourself to the limits. The clothes you're wearing, you want them to support you. Maybe wicking so you don't feel hot, comfort, stretchability.
Yeah.
But what we find in Kenya, people want instant gratification. If I'm going to make this now, I want to sell it, and I want to see the fruits of my labor straight away. But I mean, over the last 2 years of when COVID's been around, we've just taken a step back and said, what else can we do?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's the aspect of growing together, and I think this came up in our last show. I don't know if the viewers remember, but we had a musician in the room also, and we had designers, and we were like, if you're a musician, do you want to just wear anyone that you don't know, or can you say, now I'm Trio Mio, I'm getting to the point of my career where people are knowing me, and I can begin to take on other people that are growing as well. So other people in the industry that I can promote as I grow. But as you talk about that, tell us about what it is that Alphanits does.
Okay, so manufacturing wise, we're quite broad. We're fully vertically integrated.
Okay.
We do knitwear, we do wovens, and dyeing as well. But last year, we've managed to develop shoe uppers, which in collaboration with Umoja. So on our own...
Maybe you can just hold it and let people see what it is. What is the shoe uppers?
This is what it starts as.
Yes.
So this is a knitted shoe upper. And then once we hand it over to Umoja, they turn it into a beautiful little shoe. And as an industry, this industry is totally untapped locally.
Are you the only ones doing it?
As far as we know, we are.
In East Africa?
Yes. And it took us about a year and a half
That's
to even
amazing.
get the first one that they could attempt to set.
Yes.
And on our own, we wouldn't have done it. We would have given up months ago. But working with Umoja, very transparent, easy to work with, a lot of feedback, and they kept pushing us. You know, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
Where are we seeing the next iteration? And you know, we don't want to let the team down, so we kept pushing as well.
Yeah.
And finally, now we've just, you know, we're starting mass production with them, and everything they were getting from China, we're going to try and move to the local factory.
Oh, okay. So that's one good thing that has come out of COVID is now we are like, we need to stop relying on China as the big marketplace of the world, and we need to start being dependent on ourselves. And maybe what now we can start to do is look at the role that what you're playing, which is you're saying is very unique to East Africa right now.
Yes.
How can that be utilized to market the country along with the sports industry, because there's a link that is missing there.
Yeah.
Maybe even people sitting in industry don't know that you have a unique technology in your factory that they can make use of.
There's no one person or company that can do it alone. You need to collaborate. You need to open your doors, let people in. And what we managed to do and the plans where we can go with this, it's you know, it's exciting.
Amazing. So I'll move over to Biko. You're a seasoned athlete, celebrity, rugby player. And I'd like to know from you, of the comments that have been made, there's a lot that has been talked about in terms of collaboration.
Yeah.
What, in your view and your experience, has been the gap? And if you were a young athlete, let's say you were starting, when you were starting out actually,
Yes.
what kind of helping hand did you need in terms of this kind of industry?
Okay. Now, maybe I can just start off by commenting on some of the points that I've heard the others talk about, like my gentleman over here, and he mentioned yes, Saga, and he mentioned people need to collaborate,
Yes.
in order to create something that the Kenyan public will see as worthy, as good enough to wear. I agree with that, and that's a culture that needs to change in Kenya. We actually need to see that collaboration can, bring fruition to greater things, in terms of design, also the marketing side of it. And you mentioned, like, for example, an artist, like Shiomio, for example, if he were to put on some of these shoes, and really go all out on them or with them in his music videos or when he's at an event.
Definitely, for sure. And we need to have more of that. I think Kenyans also are afraid, or they lack confidence in some of these brands or the materials used to make the brands.
Is it
the
lack
pieces.
of knowledge as well?
True, maybe lack of knowledge as well, but a lot of it is also lack of confidence in it. And that should change, because if we as people can be told that our brands or the materials we're using are quality materials, and we're putting the pieces together to make something that is as good as a Nike shoe, as good as an Adidas shoe, then why not? Let's push it out.
Yeah.
You asked how it was for me growing up, like in the national team setup. I remember, like, during my first training sessions, and I was introduced to the team, and my main goal was just to wear my Kenyan colors on my back to represent my country. Some of the other things were sideshows, but it was so great, just knowing that I would get a new pair of Nike shoes, for example, a new pair of boots, because I am in the national team setup. But I'm thinking, what if I had that motivation, knowing that I was playing for the national team and I was getting a pair of these kicks, with the same kind of excitement, so that was how it was for me growing up in the national team setup. Okay. We have always looked at brands from outside. And I think that collaboration is key for us to actually come together and say, hey, what can we put together that people will not only buy here, but even the world over.
I think there's just that, what I'm hearing is also that there needs to be a recognition of value from both sides. I see your value as the industry that gives me the shoes. Yeah. And as a brand, as Biko the brand, you can say, because I see your value, I will endorse this shoe and we'll have a collaboration. you know, or them, you know, somebody can come and say,
Yes.
I am Umoja Rubber, and because I see the value of Biko as a brand, I will get in touch with him and we will collaborate
Yes.
on him marketing my shoe for me, you know.
Yeah, so
Yes.
you're saying that the brands are not seeing value in some of these
I'm just
athletes or
saying
local
there's
athletes?
it looks like there's no mutual recognition.
Mm-hmm.
There's a link that is missing. Why is this side not recognizing the value on this side, and why is this other side not confident?
Okay.
Where is the lack of confidence? This thing of saying I don't think Kenyans are proud of their own, it is true on some level and untrue on another level. So I don't know what we need to demystify, but hold that thought.
Okay.
Let me go to Vidyesh. Vidyesh, you're making happy socks.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and I know happy socks make people very happy.
They're colorful.
There's a time, I think, like about 3 years ago, when people started talking about happy socks on social media. A lot of people were doing such panel discussions, and you could just see a lot of CEOs when they're sitting, their fans would show the happy socks at the So when did you start going into happy socks? And
I mean, we started the factory, the company in 2016. Our core focus is socks. So we do all types of socks. So whether it's the funky, colorful socks, we manufacture socks for most of the schools in Kenya, I would say. We're bringing in machinery to manufacture for the army security sector. We have supplied Umoja Rubber with the linings for the gumboots.
Okay, so there's already some collaboration of. Okay.
We actually supply them school socks as well as I think the Afro-Kicks is our brand. But,
right.
So we work closely together with a lot of factories and the mills, and there's a lot of integration within the supply chain.
Yeah.
So we've been manufacturing since 2016.
Yeah.
We're a relatively new company, but trying to grow year on year. For us, it's one of the things that you mentioned is sort of understanding the quality of a product, and we tend to focus on that. That is ultimately our core. So we look at a product and we'll say, all right, how can we make this thing better? And then understand what the requirements are. Is it fit for purpose? Is it suitable? And then we take it, turn around and say, okay, now let's look at the raw material. So we work with the local mills. We've identified a couple of mills. We've spoken with them. We have taken it to a step whereby they've developed a product just for us.
Yeah.
And even then, there's always that little bit of, we can make it better. Let's take a step back. Let's make it better, because product development ultimately for us is key.
And sorry to interrupt, but I noticed the specialization that you say you only do socks so that you can focus on socks and make this one product good.
Correct,
yeah. So, but tapping into this conversation brought by both Harold and Biko and the sports industry, and the reason why we are focusing on activewear today is because we realize how big a role your kind of company can play in this industry, being one of our. I miss the industry that really puts us on the globe, other than the tea and the coffee. Really, when you think about it, it's the people that are cheered on in global arenas. So what do you think in terms of where your product can fit into this conversation?
Absolutely. I mean, so at the moment, for example, we're talking to an academy known as Starfield Sports. So they coach young guys and kids who want to play football and cricket.
Yeah.
So they came to us, they showed us a product that they want.
Yeah.
And then we took it away and we manufactured something that's just for them. So they were looking at importing this product. We've been importing this product. Mm-hmm. And now slowly we've developed a product for them that's suitable, fit for purpose, it's comfortable, they love it. So we're really trying to push that forward, really understanding what the market requirements are, what you guys need as sports players or as superstar sports players.
And Biko is a coach, and he's coaching young people in sports. So that is another linkage that I guess you guys can take this conversation offline. But that's amazing to hear that that's something that you're already doing, because I think it's one thing that a lot of companies can emulate is get them when they're young, and also work to improve your product according to the trends, according to the technological advancements, so that you're giving the young people the best that they can get, and then making them the best that they can be. So, but coming back to Linda. Linda, we've talked
can I
a lot
comment
of...
on
Yes,
happy
you
socks?
can.
I thought Colin Ginjera had shares.
Does he do a lot of happy socks?
Yes. I think, is he a brand ambassador or something?
Maybe, I'm not sure. Not for Happy Socks, I don't believe.
Which socks are those? So not the same Happy Socks?
Happy Socks is a brand.
It's a brand.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
That's
yours
different
are
Happy Socks.
My brand is called Afro Kicks.
Afro Kicks.
And
Oh.
in terms of this as a product, this is just called very funky. People refer to it as a happy sock, but it's not a happy sock.
Yeah.
Happy sock is a brand. Just
It's a
like
brand.
Okay.
Wow.
Ultimately, it's a type of sock. It's a very colorful, trendy, cotton based.
So yours is Afro Kicks.
Ours is Afro Kicks.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I
we
think
should talk to
people just
Colin
started
Zinjera.
calling all colorful socks happy socks,
Oh,
and yet
yeah.
it's a brand. on
Even
its
they
own.
make you smile.
I think it's kind of like the way the flasks, we used to call them thermos, but thermos is a brand, isn't it?
correct.
Yeah. But everyone's like, that's a thermos. Okay. But I wanted to bring in Linda. Linda, everyone has talked about where the Sagar and VTH have talked about Umoja Rubber and how you guys work together. For me, the thing that stuck in my head was that during Changamka, you guys actually sold out.
We did.
Do you think before Changamka people knew about you?
Actually, I think they just knew about the flip-flops because everyone refers to Umoja and they think about the slippers, right?
Yes, slippers.
But they weren't aware. Exactly.
Yes.
They weren't aware that we have other ranges of shoes. So it was an opportunity for us to showcase our, sneakers, our other types of shoes. So it was an amazing event for us. And as you said, we sold out.
Yeah, and people now know what Umoja Rubber is because other than butter, I'm wearing butter today. People know that.
That's
But
unfortunate.
where can people very find Umoja Rubber across the country?
We have about 14 outlets.
Yes.
We have 5 in Nairobi. We have 1 in Thika. We have in out country. We have in Kisii, and actually that is opening tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yes. so
Congratulations.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we have 3 stores in Mombasa.
Okay.
Yeah, and we hope
Is
to.
Mombasa your foothold? Is that where you started?
Yes, actually,
Okay.
the factory where the magic happens is
okay.
in Tuapa, Kilifi.
Okay.
So that's where the shoes are manufactured, and then we send them across the country.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, just bringing you back to the larger conversation of what we can do for this country and what Umoja Rubber. You've seen VDH is already working with young stars, and congratulations for that. And we hope to see you be able to scale that. So obviously it depends on how much support you get from the government in order to be able to do that in terms of competitiveness for your business. But for Umoja Rubber, in terms of making shoes, there's a lot of technology going into making shoes. As I said, like for Nike really jumped onto Eliud Kipchoge, man. We slept on that brand. We really slept on that brand. We really did. However, can Umoja Rubber make get into that whole thinking of making shoes that you sit with Biko and ask him, what do you think could be better in terms of your experience in the field, and how can Umoja Rubber make that better? And then the next time Biko is running in Scotland, he's running with your shoe. So what do you think, what role do you think Umoja Rubber can
I
play?
feel like as Umoja, actually, we are very privileged to be here and to be with people like Biko, because for us, we'd be happy to see your team wearing our shoes. And as we have said, we are working in collaboration with AlphaNet, who are making our uppers. So we'd like to further understand in understanding what is the consumer feedback in terms of our shoes. So we'd like to produce a shoe that is a very a good activewear that is a performance shoe, and it would be an honor for us to athlete or even like any person in the sports industry to wear our shoes, and we'd be very fortunate enough to supply those shoes to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the as I said, in the developed economies, the link between sport shoes, the advancement of the sport itself, and then in turn advancing the athlete is usually interlinked, and this is something that requires a lot of technology. Is there any new technology that you guys are working on, or what unique things is Umoja applying to their shoes?
Okay, I would say like previously we used to import most of our uppers, as he mentioned, right?
Yes.
So we are fortunate enough to be collaborating with a local manufacturer to make a shoe that is suitable for Kenyans, that is also suitable for athletes, so that when they're out there, they're supporting or representing our country, but at the same time they're wearing a shoe that will help them give them that performance,
Yeah.
We are working on that technology, and we're happy to collaborate.
And the shoe is fully Kenyan.
Fully Kenyan, designed by Kenyans, manufactured by Kenyans, and for Kenyans.
If I could
Yes,
chip in. So,
yes,
I mean,
please.
what she said is perfectly right. And when you have local collaboration, so what you mentioned to Biko was that once you have a brand, you go to them and say, you'll be happy to wear your brand. But I think that's a bit too late. Now, brands are born out of passion. So Enda
I like that.
is the only, that's a performance shoe. Someone didn't just wake up and say, let me make a shoe. There was a lot of research, development. They spent a lot of time before the first shoe came out trying to get it right. So if I want to make a shoe for the Kenya rugby team, I should go to the rugby team and say, this is what I want to do. Will you be a part of it? Because at every stage you will get feedback. You will hear the current issues, what's wrong with the shoes, what you can work on, how you can develop, all aspects of it. But you should, from the development stage, you should be there. And I mean, if you look at Nike's story, Nike, he never made a shoe to make money. He wasn't happy with the shoe he was running with. So the runner and his coach, they developed a shoe, and it became global. And because it's out of passion, this is what he wanted to make, a better shoe. So now with our collaboration, if we go to any sports team and say we want to make a performance shoe, we're doing everything local. All the feedback can be taken back, can be incorporated in the design, with the sole, with the upper, with the material, the flexibility. So very fast development times, and very easy to get actually good performance shoes out there.
I think for me, the next time we are holding a rally in this country, I want to see us making the get up, the whole get up. Like, why couldn't the
Overalls.
team? Yeah, why couldn't the team representing Kenya just say we are wearing spinners or spin knits or alpha knits or
Let me throw a spanner in the works.
Please
because
do.
It's great when brands say, you know what, I can make a shoe and I can give you that shoe.
Yes.
And I think you also made the comment that you slept on Kipchoge. We didn't sleep on Kipchoge. You can't afford Kipchoge. That's the fact.
We cannot afford him.
He's a global brand, and whether you like it or not, people pay you to wear their shoes.
That's
when
true.
it comes to Kipchoge. So it's not just about Biko and how much are you going to actually pay Biko and his team to wear your shoes, because it's a marketing partnership, and Nike has perfected this. Nobody can catch the richest sports brand in the world, and I was looking at the top 10, 4 of them are apparels between Nike, Adidas, I think Under Armour has come in there, Reebok has come in there. So you have to develop a brand that goes beyond just the sport, because that's where you make your money. You don't make your money from the 12 players of rugby. You make your money from the 20 million fans of rugby.
Then
you have that money as the brand to go then and tell Biko, you know what, I have developed, because it's important to develop a perfect shoe that he can perform in. And then tell him, you know what, because you're marketing my brand and I want an association, as you're a successful brand, I'm a successful brand, I have to give you this check for that. So it's not just about wearing Kenya. I wish a brand, because if Umoja Rubber can go up to any of the clubs, Wazito FC, and tell them, you know
Actually, you know what you're wearing, Enda. We are actually the manufacturers. It's a collaboration,
which is great. And I know what Enda has done. Enda has actually spoken to some local athletes to wear their shoe on their behalf, but they still can't get the top-notch athletes because it's a money issue. But what a brand should then go and do is say, I'm going to pick a club and I'm actually going to give you 20 million shillings in sponsorship a year, and you're going to wear my shoes. So the company then has to be in a position to make that money, and that money is going to come from a fan base, which unfortunately a lot of sports don't have loyal fan bases, because the money is not going to come from those 20 odd players in the team. That's just a marketing strategy. But you have to have made that money.
So it's not only, I mean, once Enda, now they've developed this, it's globally known, it's famous, but you now look at the younger talent and you start supporting that talent. So not when they reach like Biko's level and stuff, but you go to the younger kids that are being trained. And I think that's what Nike does well. They hedge their bet. The younger talent, they start sponsoring them, they start supporting them. So, they don't have, you're getting the talent young, you're giving them the stuff, you're helping them develop, you're financing that, and then when they make it, you're part
Then
of
you
that
get
story.
brand loyalty as well.
Sorry, let me just bring in because he's an educator, and I feel what I'm picking up, and I might be picking it up from far off, but there's a missing link in terms of education. When most people who've gone through 844, when the arts are placed way behind everything else, and the arts include sports, at some point what you get is people who love football because they've watched it on TV, but there's no technical, I mean, I'm not saying you need technical knowledge to be a fan, but it would help in terms of anybody who's aspiring to do anything more than be in a lab or be sitting in an office. So is there anything that in terms of even the education space just sort of nurturing the passion, whether it's through technical knowledge or just showing that it is okay to aspire to be something more than to aspire to be a rally driver? You know, for example, is it okay to aspire to be Vico? You know, because I feel like sometimes it's not said enough. I feel like the education sector is like, if you are not a mathematician, then you haven't made it in life. So you can be, and you can also be both a mathematician and Vico. Why not?
Yes, definitely. We need to nurture the fact that sports, you know, needs to be respected and highly regarded, and it can take you places. Okay, I've seen it. I mean, I've traveled the world because of sports. Yeah. Many times we say that sports in Kenya is not professional, and many of the sports are not professional. However, we need to start building that culture. Okay, and even the way Carol said earlier, sometimes even we're appreciated more when we're out of Kenya. Yeah, I've been in that situation. When we're out of the country is when
Guys
people,
are coming for autographs.
I mean,
They're
that
like,
is when
oh my God.
we're like, what? You know, kids, people want to take your socks after a game. I've witnessed that. You know, you're playing socks. Exactly. Yeah. So you see, So I mean, we need to nurture that culture here. That sports definitely can be take you to the next level.
Yes.
Yeah, and we need to look at sports as something that can, you know, uplift a family, a whole community.
Yes.
So it starts at the grassroots, like you're saying. And then also, like Carol mentioned, the brands need to go and to the different teams and pick out the athletes. But like she said, it's a money issue. So for example, I know if the certain brand was taken to a certain club, the club will be so ready to receive those things. You see, clubs will be so ready to receive them. The players will be so ready because players have not been taught that self-worth, you know.
That is so true.
Yes, because players also need to be taught that they are more worthy than they actually think they are, or than the community thinks they are. So we need these players, the local heroes. They actually need to be seen as local heroes, local stars. Yeah, the sports culture just needs to look at these people as local heroes, and that's why how it is in the USA. That's why even a brand like Nike has Nike as a brand, but you can find each and every player in the NBA has their own specific shoe within Nike.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Yeah. LeBron has his shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steph Curry has his shoe in Under Armour. I mean, we can even go to that extent where we're having Umoja having shoes for each and every athlete, you know. And why not bring even the athlete? Sometimes I've even seen abroad the athletes come over and help or give their ideas when it comes to the design of the shoe. Why not? Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
So I hear what you're saying, and as my producers tell me whether we are going to start taking in questions or comments from the internet video, there's a question of affordability that Carol Radul mentioned, which I think is very important. But to you as a manufacturer, and I'm sure Sagar also relates, the question of affordability ties very closely to competitiveness. Right. Yeah. What would you say about the issue of competitiveness with your business and just textile and apparel sector in Kenya as a whole?
I can generalize that.
Yes,
so I can speak for the sector and I can speak for us as a brand advocate, as a company H&F. In terms of being competitive and being able to provide and manufacture a product that's going to be retailed at a very affordable and competitive price. There's so many factors that will control this, right? So we look at just all things being said, a level playing field.
Yes.
Right. So if we are manufacturing a product, but at the same time there's importers bringing in this product, being undervalued, illicit, it's
Yes.
not being taxed correctly, immediately we don't have a level playing field. The second that playing field becomes level, we can be ferocious and we can really, really be aggressive. And then from there on, it's just a matter of like growth. And ultimately the prices will be at that level where, the mass market can afford, the niche products, the luxury sector, or the 1%, as we call them, they can afford, and the middle class as well. So ultimately, it all comes down to level playing fields, I think. The other thing that really affects us is our supply chains. So we're as a country, we're heavily dependent on imports. So most of our raw materials are imported because there are no mills that are able to manufacture some of the components that are used to manufacture socks, or the raw material used to manufacture socks. And because of that, we're not able to maintain lean organizational structures.
Yeah.
And because we can't maintain lean organizational structures, our costing is just going to be naturally higher than Asia, for example.
Yeah.
But there are things that, when we work together with each other as manufacturers are now starting to do, we're able to reduce those supply chain timelines. And as soon as you can do that, we start becoming leaner and leaner and leaner. But ultimately, it comes down to things like just let there be a level playing field such that we can do our jobs to provide a product that just works.
I love that, because I think that's part of the conversation that we're trying to have here. Yeah. If you do not have the space that you need to do the R&D that you need to do to support the sports industry, then at what point are you going to be able to afford to sponsor a club? So there is that complexity, and I completely hear you in terms of imports, and I'm glad that you guys have found a way of working that out. But as you say, you need to be created for you need to be left alone, basically, as business. Let business do business, because if you're taxing them every other single day, they're not going to do R&D. They're going to just produce to be able to meet their overheads and to be able to pay their workers, and that's going to be it. The space for innovativeness is going to keep shrinking, and that is what we need to start expanding. But I'll just be reading some of the comments that have come in from the people who are watching. Simon Juguna says, my question is, why are Kenyan products so expensive? And I think we have already talked about we've touched on some of that, Simon, but thanks for asking. There's Margaret Odongo says, not too many Kenyans are proud of their own. Could Mitumba also be contributing, not only Mitumbas, but those who are many wearing African attire sourced from West Africa? And then there's also always that comparison to West Africa. West Africans are very proud, they have a very strong heritage, and we don't have this thing called the identity that is Kenya, and that has been a conversation for this show as well from the beginning. I think that's what we started, is do we really have, what happened to the Kenyan dress and why did it collapse, and all of these questions came in. And so the question of identity also ties to what you guys are doing. Sports have been a very big question of identity for Kenyans. Kenyans are like, I'm Kenyan, so I'm a marathon runner, when that song sings. But after that, what happens to the question of identity? So I think that is also being brought out by the people who are watching.
Just on that, I think also
definitely,
in terms of what we're doing as a sector,
yes,
with KAM as well, we're really trying to change the market psychology to shift towards a preference for locally manufactured products as opposed to used or imported brand new products. And we're doing it through engaging various stakeholders. So we've got KAM, we've got Ministry of Industrialization, we've got Kenya Fashion Council, and then just there trying to educate people on what we're able to do and the quality of the product that we're able to manufacture. Because generally there is a stigma about locally manufactured.
There is, yes,
and people don't necessarily appreciate or understand what happens when you manufacture this. This product could be better than products being manufactured in Asia or Europe, for that matter, right?
Yes.
But it's just the fact that it's locally manufactured. So there's just skepticism and stigma associated with.
And I'll tell you, I think that's the one of the most important questions that we're trying to address with the hashtag Kenyan by Design, that, as you very well know, that we're working together with KEPROBA and the Ministry of Industry and the Kenya Fashion Council to try and see how we can destigmatize the Kenyan by Design. And I think also having people who are not in the manufacturing industry give us their contribution and their views as to why they think this is the case and why this continues to be the recurring theme when you mention Kenyan products is something that's going to help us in terms of this.
If I may ask, is there because this cost issue is a very big issue.
It is,
I know you have touched on it, and I hear you're talking to different stakeholders, but that's been happening for so many years, because this is not a new conversation that Kenyan products cost more. And we will still continue to go to China and get our cheaper merchandise until something happens. So where are we, or where is KAM in terms of negotiating with? Is it government? Is it KRA? Is it who is it who's creating so many licenses and bringing up your costs? Because I've been running this series on my Instagram where I'm trying to get people to buy fan jerseys for local clubs.
Yeah.
So I call the local club and I model their jersey and I put it up and I tag them and I tell people how much it is and everything. And every single club is getting their fan jerseys from China or Turkey. Most are saying, actually, my stuff got stuck because of COVID. The container is due, but everybody's importing fan jerseys.
Yeah.
Everybody. And these are just the KPL clubs and the 20 NSL clubs that I've approached. I can imagine the other 3 leagues. I can imagine rugby leagues and every other sport. Everyone's going to China and this conversation is not ending. And the fact is, it's good quality and it's cheaper. And Kenyans, cost is such a big thing. Even it's a bigger issue than quality, actually. I'd rather take a slightly thinner Arsenal jersey because it's from China and it's cheaper than take...
Because you can afford it and you want it and you want to wear the brand.
So where are we in this conversation that seems never to be ending?
It just seems never to be ending, to be honest. Policy advocacy, as anybody who's been in this sector, and I'm glad Sagar and Vidyesha, you're a younger generation, but I'm sure even the people before you can tell you policy advocacy is one step forward today, 10 steps back tomorrow. And just recently we actually talked to the Ministry of Industry on the bill. There was the bill on imports. I don't know, they even formed an agency. Yes, I know, they even formed an agency. What is that agency called? But yes, there's an agency under that bill now to look at what kind of tariffs or what kind of measures can be put against imports. But then this is, as long as unfortunately, there's a lot to be gained, even in terms of corruption, in terms of imports. Because I might be talking to you and I want to reduce imports, but you have a stake in the imports that come in. Because not just, you know what I mean? Yeah, but so there's a lot that goes into this, and policy advocacy continues to happen. There's loopholes, of course, that take us back every time, but then there's also committed civil servants, there's committed manufacturers who try to find ways to reduce that cost. So you see, when they do this kind of collaboration, then they've reduced some of the costs for importing, and they're able to compete with some of the competitors. But until they can make that mutumba for 10 shillings, you see, there's no way anyone in textile and apparel sector right now, you can tell them to make a shirt for 10 shillings, but you can buy a Mtumba shirt for 10 shillings so that you don't go naked. And that is a conversation that
I don't
is
think that's
really
even the market I'm talking about. I'm not really...
No, but you did bring in the issue of imports, and that is what I'm trying to address, and why imports are relevantly cheap. And then you can look at some of the people
I'm not talking Mutumba, I'm talking China, I'm talking
that's
China.
But that's where...
our fault. So as a manufacturer, the jerseys you talk about, we can do it. I mean, we've done it. These are ours. Kenya Airways, different football, but we don't sing and shout about it enough. We don't promote it. And the thing is, even price-wise, if the clubs came and sat with us and discussed the requirements, we could match their prices they're getting from China, maybe 5% more, but you can get it in a week, 2 weeks. The supply is guaranteed. If there's an issue, we're right there. We're not going anywhere. And with that, we can then develop new products as well. We're not just stuck doing the same product.
Doing the same thing.
So it's part of our fault as well, not sort of advertising what we can do. Maybe they didn't research. Maybe their natural reaction was, let's go to Turkey, let's go to China. No one can do it here. So,
But we also need to look also at the governments that make it possible for this cheap products.
Obviously.
Because they've been what Vidyesha said, they've been given the space to be innovative, they've been given the space to do business, therefore they can afford to sell these things outside of their country for cheap. Right now, we are struggling with exports as a country. I don't know if you realized, but that has been a bit of a struggle in some sectors of manufacturing. I don't know about textile and apparel. Yes, it is, as you say. So it's something that we need to do. If we improve the competitiveness of the country, then we are able to compete with imports. But we need to improve the competitiveness. Vidyesha is doing something new. He's doing something new, but they need to be given the space to continue to do it as best as they can without having to worry, tomorrow what will change? Is there going to be minimum tax? Is there going to be, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, so they need to be, because if you're constantly worrying about taxation, then you're not doing your business. Yeah, but so just to finalize this session, and I just want to read a couple more posts. Great conversation. We definitely need to wear more locally made. My soccer academy has been looking for a local manufacturer to supply us with soccer kits, but the pricing and the quotes have been high. This is Ronald Okoth. Ronald, maybe you can get in touch with us.
I know him very well. He runs Ronald Okoth Sports Academy.
Okay. So maybe you can get in touch with us. Yeah. Saga is here. Umoja Raba is here. Let's see what we can all do. Just get in touch with us.
He's had to go and get a foreign energy drink to now sponsor their jerseys. So he has academy kids running around in a foreign
jersey.
And now those kids will relate to that product when they grow up.
Yeah, they'll be like, that's what the one
they will know.
Yeah. So thank you, Ronald, for that. And did you want to say something? Okay, you looked like you wanted to say something. So there's somebody else who says, as an industry player, I'd encourage manufacturers to continue to lobby government of Kenya for extra incentives, that's Maska, to continue to offer extra incentives to apparel manufacturers so that they can continue to produce more for the country and reduce the question of imports. And then we have sports holds a huge number of people compared to any other activity in Kenya. This is Miss Lira. We need to use that as a way to advance activewear. Can't talk about sports marketing without talking about the need for us to be, this is Elvis Mboy. You can't talk about sports marketing without talking about the need for us to be proud of our country's brands and being proud of what we make locally. So we hear you. Thank you for sending in your quotes and posts. And our producers, can we now move on to the fashion show? As we continue to celebrate, please send in your comments through hashtag Kenyan by Design. You can win sneakers from Umoja. Oh yes, we have, oh, these ones are tied together.
Coming together.
We have this is the Vigo collection by Umoja Raba. Let me just hold them nicely so that you can see them. So you can get to have a pair of these or some of these. We have 10 lucky winners, so continue to send in your photos of hashtag Kenyan by Design with what you're wearing on your feet, and it has to be Kenyan by Design. So send so that we can continue to award you Vigo collection shoes. And these shoes, they feel wonderful. I think I just need to wear them after this.
But they're very stylish.
They're very good, and the colors, and they're amazing. I think there's another black one that I saw. It has disappeared, but you will bring it on. We'll show it at the end, or the model will show it. So yeah. So producers, can I move to the fashion show? Okay, right. So in a few minutes we'll move to the fashion show, and as we do that, I just want to, Biko has been too quiet. Have you identified any local brand that you want to wear?
Too loud, actually. Sorry, say that again.
Have you identified any local brand that you would want to wear?
When it comes to the active wear, not really. And yes, so to be honest, I've not seen or heard too much about the local active wear. Yeah. I have been seeing a lot of the casual brands, casual wear brands trending a lot, you know, and those are brands I've actually reached out to and purchased some of their items and even worked with a bit. So yes, but when it comes to activewear brands, not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we need to use the Kenyan by Design hashtag Videsh and Saga to see how people can start to get to know what you're making.
I think my marketing guys have already started.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you touched on it, that there's a lot of marketing you guys have not really reached out, because I would you've not asked for my advice, but I'll give it anyway.
That is why you're here.
That you speak to some of the clubs directly, speak to some of the federations directly. I can give you all the contacts I have if you want to, and just see where you can attract them with your product. If it is, I mean, these I've seen, they look like very casual wear, but you have shoes for competitive athletes as well.
So if you look at competitive, Ender's the brand, and Ender's another brand that we're now starting to collaborate with to make the performance
Love
shoes.
that.
So they were bringing the uppers from China, and
Yes.
we were making the bags, the shoes were going in, but we weren't making the shoes. So the conversation started, and it's like, well, have it all made locally, because Moja assemble it. The uppers come from China, but if we make it locally, and the good thing is, like, Kenyans are very particular about their style and fashion. You know, what you think globally fits, it won't fit here. So when you're doing it locally, you can, streamline things, you can react, and Kenyans like things a certain way.
And I've also noticed Kenyans are very willing, and somebody made it in their comment, Kenyans really willing to buy Kenya, build Kenya.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're given two products like this and you look at them and they look the same, you will take the Kenyan product.
Definitely.
It's just to, I guess, have that, have it in your face that it is the same. It gives you equal value, maybe not equal, but a good standard value. And then, they will always ask, what are you doing back for sport, if you want us to wear it as sports people? But then market to the fan base as well, because if I'm not wrong, most of Nike's stuff and Reebok stuff is, I think my mom wears Reebok. She doesn't understand that she's wearing a brand, but she's not a sports person. She's just
But it feels good, so she wears it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask, Linda, how long has Umoja Rubber been?
Over 40 years, since
Wow.
1978. Yes.
And I heard about you this week.
You see what I
Really?
mean?
You have a lot of marketing you need to do.
We do.
But as you say, like, a lot of people knew about the slippers, the ones for going to the bathroom.
Exactly.
But not so many people know that you even do PPEs. Like, so they actually do PPEs. I wonder if there was a time, I know the textile and apparel sector has been known as being one of the sectors that really turned it quickly around during COVID and started doing PPEs and just got into it very quickly. And I wonder how that worked out for you guys, by the way. That's just a random question.
Oh, it's a random.
Yes, it has nothing to do with sports, but I was just curious.
Yeah, but as he mentioned, it was hard for us to import the uppers from China due to the pandemic.
Yeah.
That's why we decided to collaborate with people like Alphanit and VTH for the socks, for our safety shoes, and even schools. So it's important for us to have this collaboration so that we have a final finished product that is fully manufactured in Kenya. We also want Kenyans to understand that it's important for them to support us, because we do a lot of research and development. We want to understand, what is it that you want to see in a shoe? What are you using this shoe for? Is it for gym? Is it for outdoor activities? We want to understand, how does the shoe fit you? How does it function? And we want to reach to these consumers and give them that particular shoe that gives them that fully fitted shoe that gives them that ultimate performance.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, for a company that has been there for that long, you're definitely very invested in R&D. But as she says, it's like, very few people really know the capacity of what you're able to do. I was shocked when I saw your shoes at Changamka. It's just that you were giving them at throwaway prices and everyone was just clogging. But nobody even knew that you guys do these things. So I think there is that aspect of who, apart from the guys in your sector who obviously know very much about you and want to work with you, how do you reach out to stakeholders like government and tell them, by the way, us guys do ABCD. If you want PPEs for farmers, we have gumboots. And how do we go to Isiolo? How do we get to, like, how do you reach out to such stakeholders?
Okay, so currently, I know we are talking about the activewear, but I'd like to get into the government and how we've collaborated with them. So currently we are manufacturing the military boots that are worn by the army.
Okay, so both you and Bata? Or?
No.
Just you?
Yes.
That's excellent.
That's
Yes,
amazing.
it's amazing, yes.
Okay.
So if you walk into our shops, you'll be able to see our military boots.
Yeah.
But they're not accessible to the public, of course, because of
Yes,
obvious
of course.
reasons,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
But for security purpose, I mean, we have security shoes, we have the safety shoes, as you've mentioned, the gumboots.
Yes.
We also have the ace shoe that is just right there next to Carol.
Yes, the ace shoe.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's a safety shoe.
Okay. Yeah, it really is. Is this one for climbing Mount?
I mean, it's a fashionable shoe, as you can see. The design, the output that has been put to design that shoe is absolutely amazing.
I think that's a new investment.
It's a new investment.
If you see that new factory, it's fully robotic and it's
Yes.
amazing.
So I think that's going to be our next site visit, ladies and gentlemen. Is going to be to Moja Raba, Mtwapa. But yeah, so this is Ace shoe.
Yes,
and
it
this is this your newest line?
It's
or
our
is
latest.
Vigo-
Okay, that's our latest footwear, which
Okay.
is falls under the category of safety.
Okay.
But when it comes to now what we're talking about, which is the activewear, we have the Vigo collection.
Okay.
Yes.
So now from this forum, to go beyond the Ministry of Interior and Defense and work with other stakeholders in government. And I think also it's a good thing that the Ministry of Industry can see you as part of this conversation. Because for me, I am really invested in us not wasting another chance for a young athlete to then be plucked by Reebok, and then we see them running around and they're wearing Reebok and we're like, yeah, we knew that guy. He was wearing Afro kicks the other day. So we need to find out how from established companies like yourselves, you can begin to get involved in something that have a real cultural, I mean, of course they have real cultural impact, but for people to see that it's different for you
Maybe
to do. And yes.
If I can just ask Suraj a question.
Yes, Saga.
Sagar, sorry.
Yeah.
There's I wanted to know, do you guys have or give opportunity and support, people who are now upcoming, like designers, in fashion designers?
Yes.
You see, who might actually bring in a new spring of life into design and ideas. Because
So-
there are many people who would like to get into that
Yes,
kind of
yes,
industry,
yes.
and maybe they have wonderful ideas. Do you guys support that?
Okay, so no, great point. So, and that sort of ties in with what I wanted to say. So Vidyesh and I, we're manufacturers. So we may have our own brands, but as a Kenyan, if you're passionate, if you want to develop your own brand, you can start developing your own brand and come see us and come with your ideas, and we can then turn that idea and those designs into a reality. So we are not a brand, we're manufacturers with our own brands. And in the same way, so over the last few years, 2 years, we've been trying to collaborate more with fashion designers. So we found out that it's very difficult when you're starting out to go to a company to make a small run, to trial things. So it's not easy, but we have worked with about 3 or 4 at the moment, and they've come with their designs, and then we develop that design into an actual sort of sample, and then we take the sample, improve it, and then they have something they can show off as a part of their collection. So yeah, generally manufacturers are more sort of geared towards mass production, but as a company, we're 45 years old, but there's always a section of our company that operates as a startup. So that's where the new ideas come in. That's where we can just mess around, break things, try new things. And then that's where the fashion designing and all comes in. So you have an idea, let's go, let's see what we can do. Let's help you develop it. So yeah.
And I hope everyone listening has heard that. So if you're an aspiring designer, I think we saw a lot on hashtag Kenyan by Design. I think you guys have really been following Vidyesh, I know, and Sagar. And what really gives me hope about the textile and apparel sector in KAM is that I'm seeing that the leadership is young. So you're fresh for new ideas. So I know you won't stop breaking things until you can find innovative ideas that will take this country far. So
if I can just comment, sorry, before.
Yes.
I know today you brought mostly shoe and socks,
Yes.
guys, but we shouldn't ignore the jerseys, because I think there's a lot of, not just the jerseys, but all sorts of the top part of fashion. I remember when Harambee Stars went for AFCON in Egypt, their official off the pitch wear was made in France, and they were wearing these really nice suits. But you can't tell me that there are no Kenyans who can create really nice suits. you know, and unfortunately they had no Kenyan design or anything, which is not a must, but I think for me it was such a shameful moment for me. The stars looked dapper, they looked good, but you
They were in
can't tell me
French-made attire.
You can't tell me the whole of Kenya you can't find a good designer to make good suits. I know so many of them. So I think it's just the conversations that need to be had with these national teams, the federations, the sports ministry, unless it is a sponsored event. Because I know that our Olympic team have to wear Nike because it's a Nike sponsored event, but their golf shirts, for example, that officials and whatever wear are imported from somewhere else. You know, I don't know why they're not.
Actually, a lot of golf apparel is manufactured in Kenya and exported.
So are the EPZs.
One of the biggest brands, Izod for golf, is locally manufactured. And just on that point,
and then we go and get it.
By the way,
back.
we didn't even know that. Please just say that again for our audience to hear again.
Izod, which is a huge brand for golf apparel, like the polos and the pants. It's manufactured in Kenya and it's sent out in big volumes. And then I see players in Kenya. I play golf, so when I see them on the course, I see them with the Izod, and I'm like, this is probably made here. So
but it's been imported
like that. That are manufactured here and going out. And on that point, like even in the mills, or rather, I know certain garment factories that are bringing in dry fit material, and then they're stitching it up and creating polos and really nice t-shirts and pants and shorts and whatnot. And it's amazing. And over there, it's just the conversations just need to happen between the sports teams, the coaches, the guys who want to develop the product, and the manufacturers. Because ultimately, it's not a difficult thing to do. And ideally, preference must be given to local manufacturers. I reckon there's no reason why anyone can't do it. It's just a matter of, well, let's just bring it in because it's easy. It might be cheaper, but ultimately, the butterfly effect of having it manufactured here is tenfold what you'll do when you import something in. So you'll create more employment. You're paying the local taxes, whereas bring it in. The guy who's bringing it in might have one employee working for him. The factory will have 100 for that one person.
Exactly.
So the butterfly effect is just huge.
It's massive,
And that's, I think, ultimately, and I know it's something that no one will really want to think about when they're buying a product as a consumer, but it is something that we must consider. And that's the only way that we're going to get our costs down, Ultimately, we need the economies of scale because once there's a preference for locally manufactured products, naturally these costs are going to come down. There's a lot of bureaucracy that we face on a daily basis.
Absolutely,
This
so that
morning,
actually,
firefight was just bureaucracy, right? And ultimately, that time is wasted. Those are inefficiencies which, if dealt with, I don't see why costs would come down.
That's what I was going to say. Goodwill from regulators plays a very big part in that. And I told you guys that 1.5 hours would go by very fast. So we are actually coming to that time where we want to see what's being showcased for us. Are we ready? We're ready. So I'm going to call upon... we have two very beautiful, vibrant models, and they're wearing Umoja rubber shoes.
Are we judging?
No judgment.
Actually, you're going to have to say something about it. Would you wear it? Would you not wear it? Do you like the color? Do you not like it? And then Umoja rubber can take it back and go and do some innovative thing with it.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So let's have the lady, Paris Matiana.
Whoop whoop.
Yay! Oh, thank you. Yeah, we were going to sing for her though. That is Paris wearing...
It's called Vigo Lily. It's one of our footwear collection. And gym and activewear, basically, even outdoor. So it's a slip-on, does not feature any laces. The material on the upper is very breathable. It molds your foot basically. So it's very comfortable and very easy and fun to wear.
So you call it the Vigo Lily?
Yes, it's called Vigo Lily. It comes in different colors. Yeah. We have what she's wearing is the maroon. It also comes in grey and black.
Okay.
And it's available in all our outlets countrywide for only $14.99.
$14.99.
Very affordable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then they look extremely comfortable.
They are very
But also like the colors.
Yeah.
It goes with what she's actually wearing.
Yeah. I like this
You
kind
can
of
see
shoes.
yourself wearing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I can see myself.
You can see yourself.
Definitely.
I mean, I like them for, like, you know, when you're going to the airport and you have to undo your laces and come back and wear your shoes. It's so hectic, but this is really comfortable. You can run when you're late and your name is being called and not have to undo any
They look
laces.
light, actually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is the biggest trend in footwear. It's knitted uppers. It gives you the breathability, flexibility, and it slips on.
But how are
It's
they
like a
with
sort-
the rainy weather?
No, it's fine, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the material it's made, it dries quickly, it will protect your feet.
Okay.
So
No getting athlete's foot. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you, Paris. Thank you so much. I like that. I like that. Vigo Lily, right? Okay. How long have you made those?
It's actually new in the market.
Oh.
Yeah, it's currently available in all our retail stores.
Yes.
And also online.
Online.
www.umojaafrica.
Actually, I had somebody asking me, our chairman actually of the association was asking about Ender shoes and where to get Ender shoes. And I know you said you manufacture.
Yeah,
them.
we manufacture. It's a collaboration.
Yes.
Yes.
So where do people get Ender shoes? Just
From
because
Ender.
we are there. Okay, on their website.
Yes, from
okay.
Ender.
I think it's endersportswear.com.
Yes.
Okay, so I just told them the chairman would like to buy their shoes, which I think is a great thing. So, I'm going to call Actor Jiwa. Actor, we'd like to see what you're wearing.
So Actor is wearing Vigo rubber.
with some board.
So the upper is also knitted.
Yeah.
And it's very breathable, very comfortable. This shoe comes in different designs.
It's so cool.
Very cool, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So we have it in black and white, black and red, white and red.
Ah.
Yes, and it goes for $14.99.
And that's not this.
It's the same. So that's. So we have the all white version, which is this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
It comes from size 4 to 9.
Yeah.
This is suitable for men.
But they look unisex. That
They
looks
do. In
unisex.
fact, I could wear those. Those look very rock star.
Yeah.
I already wear men's shoes, so men's sneakers.
Maybe Actor could tell us, are they comfortable?
Yeah, very much.
Okay. Feel like you can run out of here
Yeah.
with them? Just
I
don't.
pay first.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, okay. I think those are really cool shoes. Why did you say they were for men?
Okay, ideally they were meant for men, but as ladies, as she's wearing sport shoes and everyone, it's a unisex shoe as
Yeah,
well.
you find that a lot of ladies actually wear
Yes,
either
that's
or
the
whatever.
best one.
looks
Like for
nice.
us ladies,
Yeah.
Especially that white and red color.
This one,
It's
Beautiful.
very
Yeah.
feminine.
I really
Yeah.
like it. Yeah, I really like it. Okay, Paris Matiana again. I think Paris has another pair of shoes to show us.
So Paris is wearing another selection or design from Vigo. It's called the Vigo Tausi. Vigo Tausi, yes. The peacock, exactly. So this one comes in coral, what she's wearing. It also comes in grey. I don't have one in the display, that's lily. So this one comes from size 4 to 9. It's also only $14.99.
Oh, you didn't tell us how much Actor's shoe is.
$14.99.
Oh, okay. These are really affordable.
They are
shoes.
very affordable shoes, made in Kenya, by Kenyans, for Kenyans.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I like that shoe.
So the difference between what she was wearing before is that this one is more of like, it has the laces. Yes, this one comes in red as well. This is our latest collection for Vigo and Leisure. Yes.
The Vigo Lily and the Vigo Tausi.
Vigo Lily, Vigo Tausi.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Would you wear that, Karen?
Absolutely.
What color? Yeah.
Yes, I've been gifted a pair.
Oh, wow, okay.
You got the grey one, right?
Yes, and I'll show off.
Oh, you have to. You must.
But I'll buy more.
You must take
They look
pictures and
so
do
worth
hashtag
it.
Kenyan by design. You
Done.
must. You must.
Consider
You
it
must. I'm looking forward to seeing Akhtar back here again. Akhtar Jiwa, you can show us your next pair of shoes. I think people are just looking online and wondering where have these shoes been all their lives.
Tell them to start ordering www.umoja.africa. So what Akhtar is wearing is called the Vigo Kicks.
That is the shoe I was talking about.
Yes, this
That
is
an
amazing shoe. It's unisex.
I see because
Vigorously.
Can I work with some as well?
What will be cool?
You would wear those. Would you wear those?
Definitely.
These are beautiful shoes.
They are.
Yeah.
So these are also available in all our outlets and online. They go for $12.99 and they range from 4 to size 9.
And the colors is just
Okay, so we have what he's wearing is the black, all black. No, actually it's upper black and white sole. We have it in all black. It's not on our display, but if you go online, you will see how it looks like. We also have one that is all white. Yes. So we have 3 different designs. Yeah, the all white is what Sally is.
it looks very different. Oh yeah, it actually is.
It's only the color.
Yes. It actually is. It's the same. Yes.
So this one goes for $12.99 and it's available in all our outlets.
I think it's amazing. I think it's an amazing shoe.
It is.
Yes. Thank you so much, Akhtar. Asante sana.
Paris Matiana. No?
Yes. So Paris is wearing Vigo Skins, which comes in different colors. There's the blue version, there's the black version, there's also a maroon version of the same. It also comes with a different upper that has some polka dots. Pink, blue, green.
Wow.
So this one goes for $14.99.
Yeah.
It's a slip-on, as you can see, very breathable. It's the upper is. What's the upper?
It's a knitted upper once
Yeah,
again.
knitted upper.
So breathable, flexible.
So there's been the question that we've discussed the whole afternoon about confidence in locally made products. The people who are watching this, your wonderful shoes and saying, only $12.99, I am running to buy. But can you guarantee them how long these shoes stay?
Okay.
Without, sometimes in Nairobi things happen. You're standing, Kanjo comes, you have to run. But with the shoe,
run
here.
So from when we began, when we started the slipper, you remember the long-lasting slipper, and people used to say that this is a flip-flop that lasts long.
Yes.
So the same applies for our sneakers. Like, you're guaranteed that this sneaker will last long. If you're running away from, as you said, City Council or whoever, like your
Just went running randomly.
oh, running
Put City Council.
suitable. It's suitable for all. So whether it's outdoor or indoor, you're guaranteed in terms of comfort, style, and durability.
So those slippers that people say they just do not tear.
Yes.
Like you'll be disciplined with them and they will outlive you. That is what you're saying about
It applies for us.
It guarantees you comfort, it guarantees you
style,
fashion, and it stays. You won't, the sole will not be coming off the next day.
No. Our technology is top-notch.
Top-notch technology.
Yes.
Top-notch technology, affordable Kenyan shoe, guaranteed. I think that's amazing. Thank you so much, Paris. We are trending at number 8, hashtag Kenyan by Design. Thank you, guys. We would like to see more of your photos with your shoes. Please put them there. Umoja Rubbers, you can see they have beautiful, beautiful shoes that they are giving away. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity. The music that we are playing is by Berry Lowano, courtesy of the producer that graced us on our first Fashion Central show, that is K-Letter. And then, of course, let's remember to acknowledge the jazzis on the table. The jazzis by none other.
Alphanet. Yeah.
None other by Sagar.
Yes.
Actually, you didn't even talk so much about your jazzis, did you?
No, it's just one of the many products we make. And once again, it's all collaboration. The material is made by the mills, and we get it, and we do the branding, so it's fully sublimated. So when we get it, it's all white, so we can put whatever design you want, you know, whatever logo, whatever face, whatever you can get on a screen, we can put it on it.
Okay.
So it can be fully customized.
Maybe
you
we
can
should
have his
hold
name
one
on the
up
back.
because it's not being modeled.
No, I mean, we can. These are probably the Kenyan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this. So so I mean, it works for a sports team. It works for a fan.
Yeah.
You can customize it with your name at the back.
Yeah. And now you've said you're also engaging local designers to see what more you can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is on a broader platform of the knitwear we do. And other sections as well.
Yeah.
But even customized material, if you want to print a short run of material, we can print that for you as well.
Okay. I think the next time then we should be able to see some of the models doing your jerseys and
yes.
seeing who you've collaborated with for that. And I'd also like to see some Afro cakes in there as well.
These are what need to be offered to the teams, the football,
Exactly.
the rugby, the volleyball teams.
But the technology behind like a professional team's clothes as well, that is something that needs to be developed. They need to be like moisture wicking. They need, well fitted, stretchable. They need to be versatile, not just rip off.
Yeah,
as much as the other.
And also, as you say, breathable if they're going to go to the sports.
But there's still for training jerseys and fan jerseys. This is what we wear.
This is what you wear.
Yes. So that's the other side.
And by the way, are there people in the textile and maybe Vidyash can tell me that make the bags, the sports bags?
I know one way potentially might be doing it.
Okay. Maybe those are the guys we also need to invite next time.
You guys do some bags.
Yeah, so like the Ender shoes, the bags they're packed in is made by us.
Okay. Are you looking to do more bags or? Because I know there's that aspect of if I'm working, when Biko is just from his training and he puts and there's a video that captures him putting his bag there with his paraphernalia and we'll be like, he's carrying a Puma. But we just want to see.
Sandstorm?
Sandstorm, yes. Yeah. Okay.
So there's a lot of possibilities in all the merchandising and all.
As I said, you guys, I'm confident because you guys are young, so I don't see you going anywhere.
We can't do it alone. We need to work with the teams, with Gormaya. I think about 2 years ago we did try get some sort of licensing with Gormaya, but a lot of hurdles and stuff. So it just has to be.
It's a complicated club.
It's a complicated country.
Everyone wants to see the money first.
It's a reflection of.
Yeah, but there's so many other clubs you can use as entry, like in the National Super League, the second tier, or there are 18 teams in the Premier League. While it's attractive to go for the top teams because they already have a fan base, they also have more complications in terms of management and procurement and all that stuff. But,
and as you've heard, there's also the young leagues, so there's coaches that you can.
And that would be the perfect place to start.
There's willing coaches that you can be able to speak to, understand, and that would be a great thing. So are there more shoes from Umar Jaraba? No. Okay, so I guess we are almost coming to the end of this. My producer just keeps mouthing, and I'm trying to understand what she's saying. But the socks, we've made you speak about the textile and apparel sector a lot, and I just want to hear if you would like to tell us more about your socks before we end and as we come to a close. What inspired you? Where do you think you're going with the socks business? What does your local value chain look like?
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, in terms of the business in itself, like I said, we started out 2016, late 2016, early 2017, I'd say. When I looked at the market and the products that are already there, I was quite, I wanted to know. I was sure I could do something better. And, like I said, for me, it's ultimately product development. And for everyone in my factory, it's a pro-organizational approach where we empower all of our employees to make the right decisions to ensure that what's coming out of our factory is going to be great. Mm-hmm. So when we look at products that are already there, we know we can do it better. And that's where we come in and look at the backward integration and work with the local mills to see what we can develop such that what we send out from our factory doors is going to be fantastic. In terms of our value chain at the moment, our socks are made from Kenyan grown cotton.
Okay.
From the point of the farmer up until it leaves my factory, indirectly and directly, there's around 250,000 Kenyans employed.
Okay, so you're a stellar example of farm to fashion.
Correct.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in terms of where we're going, ultimately our vision is to become the market leaders of Africa in socks. Any type of socks, whatever type of socks we're doing. So at the moment, we're quite, we're relatively substantial in the school market section.
Yes.
We just launched the luxury high-end cotton brands. We are looking at so many different variations that we're constantly working off and coming out with over the next 12 to 24 months.
Yeah.
But it's an exciting space. I think we're very dynamic. I think we're quite lean at the moment. We're trying to stay that way, working as far as we can with the local factories available.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, over there, it's just it's going to be an exciting space where new products to come.
And we can't wait to see what more you've come up with, you'll be coming up with this kind of collaborations. I'm just so glad that you've been able to meet knowledgeable people in the industry like Carol, who will offer you advice from time to time or whenever you call on her.
Okay.
Because I think
we
you
have
have
the same
great
goal at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I think we need to see some more comments, and then do we need to look at some of the people doing hashtag Kenyan by design? I think I can see Miss Lyra there with her beautiful shoes. I can also see Marvin with whose shoes? He just says hashtag Kenyan by design. We don't know who has designed that shoe. Marvin, tell us so that you can win a shoe. Miss Lego is hashtag Kenyan by design. You guys need to tell us who is the design. When you say Kenyan by design, who is the design? Okay, I see somebody there. Who is that? Jack Kalaba. So guys, tell us, when you're saying hashtag Kenyan by design, it actually needs to be Kenyan by design, not just a nice shoe, eh? Worn by a Kenyan. Not a nice shoe. It's not you who's the Kenyan part of the hashtag Kenyan by design. So Charlie says that we need to come up with a modality or a law that will see locally manufactured attires affordable. A jersey in Kenya is twice the price of the one from China, and I think that's what Carol Radul said. Then Washira says, Radul borrowed my shoes. She will post on my behalf. Great conversation. Okay, now we know. She's been bragging the entire show.
I got them from Navalaya herself, and I bought them.
Hilda Chapto says, good conversation. We have Tijal. Oh, Tijal has actually provided the material on our tables. I hope you can see the beautiful material. They're from Thika Cloth Mills, and Tijal has been a great supporter of this show. So Tijal is saying it's not expensive. When you send money to another country, it's much more expensive. You export the jobs. We can produce amazing things at affordable prices. Let's embrace change. So it's also about changing the mindset. Very proud of our local manufacturers. Keep up the good effort. Bramwell Obando says, great show. I'm learning new things. I am learning as well. I didn't know half the things I'm knowing about the sports industry today. And about Umoja Raba and about the socks industry and specialization. I think there's a lot that you have to teach this country about specialization. We don't do that a lot as Kenyans. We want to get into everything. So you just go and make everything. But I think that we are learning that you can specialize and perfect and actually get a market for it. And that's amazing. So we have gifts from Umoja Raba, as I said. Guys, continue. Hashtag, I'll give these gifts to the people who are specific. Hashtag Kenyan by design. Who has designed those shoes? We have some socks, Afro Kicks to give from VDS. And then we have Alpha Knits, some Masai Shukas. So guys, there's a lot to be won today. Send the hashtag in. We'll keep looking at the posts. And I'm now wrapping up, and I'll just give our honorable panelists a parting shot. You can start.
Well,
so
the Masai Shukas,
yes,
we would like to award them to Biko's biggest fans who love to go watch rugby and watch him play to keep them warm.
Did you hear that?
Let's do that.
Did you hear that? Masai Shukas are going to Biko's biggest fans. So we need to define Biko's biggest fan. Why? Not listen.
Why don't count?
The criteria. Do hashtag Kenyan by design. Tell us why is. In fact, just tell us the moment the moment that strikes you in Biko's career, that you're like, wow, I watched him do this in this arena, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, we want to see that moment. Weka hapo, hashtag Kenyan by Design. You get a shuka from Sagar. Thank you, Sagar, for the support.
worries.
Thank you
Our
so
pleasure.
much. I'm going to give our last round of final comments as we come to the end of the show. We are actually going beyond time, but just to hear from you. And any parting shot and what you'd like to say.
Okay. First of all, it has been my pleasure to be here amongst you all and to discuss this. I know it's something that we should keep on discussing as Kenyans and try to see where we can go correct as we get into the future and try build our brands and build also the sporting people wearing those brands.
Sure.
And even the general public. But I would like to say well done to those you guys doing this right now in the Kenyan market, and kudos to you guys pushing it out there. Keep at it. All the best as you keep on trying to reach for greater heights, and I'm sure that very soon we'll be seeing more and more Kenyans wearing your brands. And I'd like to say thank you all again, and all the best.
Thank you. And although we cannot exactly tell you to push any one particular brand, now you know that Kenyans can make quality things. So as an educator, I'm sure that's something in your space that you're able to say that this is actually made in Kenya. As you've heard, golf attire is made in Kenya. I didn't even know that. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Linda.
Yes.
I'll give you a parting shot, and thank you for wowing us today.
Anytime.
Yes.
So first of all, I'd like to thank KAM for giving us this platform to showcase our shoes. The conversation that has been going on today has been very insightful. And as Umoja, we want to continue the conversation further from this. We want to approach the athletes and support them locally. It would be amazing to see them wear our shoes and support, Kenyans. And I would love to urge the Kenyans out there to support local manufacturers, and anything that you see that is designed by Kenyans, buy into it, buy the product, buy the let's push Kenyan attire out there. And sure.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Linda. And we'll definitely be storming your stores for those $14.99 beautiful shoes. Asante sana. I know Carol Radul already has hers.
Yes.
So she's going to be posting very soon. But thank you for that. And I think, as I said, we've learned now how long you've been in the market, and that you do more than slippers, and you're doing quality PPEs and shoes for people. So that's amazing, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sagar?
As well, over the last 2 years, the world has been turned upside down, but as we find our feet again, there's massive opportunities for Africa, East Africa, and Kenya as well. And going forward, collaboration is the way. You're always stronger together. So let other companies learn, let designers learn that. Find someone that you can work with them. And thank you, KAM, for this platform, letting us show us your new developments, our new developments. And we look forward to sort of growing in the Kenyan market.
Absolutely. You guys keep going like this and finding more collaborations, and you'll definitely dominate the AFCFTA footwear industry. I'm very confident. It's a new market, and you guys already looking like you have your ducks in a row. So I'm rooting for you. I'm your biggest supporter. Along with Carol Radu.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Your parting shot, Carol.
My parting shot is the fact that this is such an untapped industry both ways.
Yes.
The sports sector is an untapped industry. The sports activewear is an untapped industry. I think a lot more marketing needs to happen. A lot more conversations need to happen so that each other know that each other exists.
That's true.
And each other need to understand the expectations of the other party.
Yeah.
But I'm coming to shop at your shop, just so you know. Do you know I like these shoes because when you're flying, and I'm being lure here, you don't have to keep removing them at every, because they don't go beep, beep, beep.
Yes.
I go, and yes, I'm being Django today. I go to China Center in Dubai to find shoes like this. and yet they've been here on my doorstep and I don't
All
know.
along, yeah.
So it's a shame on both of us. It
Yeah.
just means we're not having enough conversations.
That's
So
true.
this is a brilliant conversation by KAM. By the way, I don't like doing these panel things, but when Roshilda gave me the topic and everything,
Yeah.
I said I have to have this conversation.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
feel it's something we've not even touched the surface.
I don't think, have you had a time when you've sat down with textile and apparel manufacturers?
Never,
So I
never.
think,
I
as
mean,
you
I've
say,
interviewed Navalayo a few times.
but you see,
not beyond that.
yeah. But I like that, and
Yeah.
it can't be the first and the last. I'd like us to go also beyond talking for the hashtag Kenyan by Design. The reason why CS Betty Minor said that we need to start this hashtag Kenyan by Design is because, number one, we need to do away with the stereotype for locally made products, but we need to find each other's strengths and latch onto them and begin to grow as a country. Vidyesh, I'll give you the last, your parting shot and anything else that you'd like to add.
First of all, thank you for having all of us.
Yeah.
Lovely to meet all of you as well.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I'm quite pleased with the way the sector is moving towards. I think there's a lot of good things to come. I think in terms of as a country in itself, our labor force is able to. Last week we were at Sankara the other day, and one of the biggest exporters in terms of apparel. Spoke about our skilled labor force.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And I think just the way we're headed and where we're going, there's just good things to come. I just think the playing field must always be kept level. And then I think then we can just be ferocious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second that, for
Yeah.
sure.
I think we've had really great insight today, and I know that a lot more collaborative things are going to be done beyond this platform here. I know you guys are going to exchange numbers, and a lot more conversations are going to, but this is one of the things that the Fashion Central show is hoping to achieve, is to get people together. But beyond that is to go ahead and make sure that people can now go ahead and buy Kenya, build Kenya, is to make sure that the government can see what the challenges are on both sides, whether it's from the consumer side, whether it's from the manufacturer side, and see how we can bridge this gap as a country, because the point is then to drive our manufacturing to be competitive. If we're not competitive, the AFCFTA is coming and we're just going to be left behind. But also as well, how are we going to find each other's strength if we don't talk? So we need to start talking. I know we've done this in tourism. It can be also very successful in manufacturing. And I look forward to having a lot more conversations, making a lot more collaborations happen. Thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in, who's been giving us your comments, who's using hashtag Kenyan by Design. Thank you, all of you. I know even last time we awarded some of the people who came out with beautiful designs, and we had one of them at the dinner in Sankara last week with Vidyesh and the team and the rest of the textile sector. And I'd like to encourage all of you to keep doing this, not just as a trend, but just for something that you're proud of doing. Every Friday, just wake up and say, today I'm wearing Vivo activewear or something, and do hashtag Kenyan by Design and help us dispel the myth. I'd also like to thank Umoja Rubber, our sponsors and our participants, H&F for the Afro Kicks and for the great conversation. Thank you so much. Alpha Knits, Spinners and Spinners, Tejaldo, Dia Tika Cloth Mills. I'd like to thank Carol Radul. Thank you so much for coming, taking your time to engage with us, giving us your insights. We'll definitely be reaching out for more. Thank you so much to Biko Adema for agreeing to come and leaving everything else you had to do behind. Asanteni Sana. We really appreciate you. I'd like to thank the team behind this, Roshilda, Kamanga, the crew behind. There's a whole team here that you guys cannot see, but there's a whole crew that have spent hours and hours putting this together, and I'd like to thank you so much for that. I have been your host, Sally Cahill, and look forward to seeing you in Fashion Central 3. Let's see what we have in store for you then. Asanteni. Thank you.
Through NITA and all.
Hi, this is KAM Live, and today we're at Shona EPZ in Athi River. We're going to talk about manufacturing in the textile and apparel sector. Come, let's go.
I'm passionate about manufacturing. The minute I saw that I can impact so many people, apart from just doing maybe a business that would hire probably 7 to 10 people and maybe benefit me more than them, I felt the passion on benefiting more people coming up, and that's, I think, why manufacturing became something that was more interesting to us. There was an opportunity we saw. For 17 years, I've been inspecting and auditing garment manufacturers in 10 African countries. And during that time, I just saw the opportunity of us as a Kenyan actually setting up a factory in Kenya and making that impact. In this particular space, the struggles that I went through was because of lack of that information. And that's why now I'm willing to give as much information as possible to those who are interested in getting into this space. Majority of the EPZ factories are foreign owned. So when they come into Kenya, they're able to set up, but they already have established suppliers for them, and it's easy for them to operate. For us, we did not have that access to the raw materials, to the accessories, to the suppliers, or the machinery. In the very first 5 years of your operation, you need to be very present in your facility. Every single day you can be there, because the decisions that you make, the solutions that you come out with, that you solve, will help you understand how this business really runs. For those who are in the manufacturing space, they actually need a lot of support. First, in identifying markets. Second, in access to finance. And third, in basically getting some of the kind of like the support, the trainings that the government is offering, maybe through NITA and all, the support that we get through Kenya Associations of Manufacturers. The linkages, the interconnectivity really helps, because that's what builds more business, that's what builds more trust in the people who want to invest internationally, and that's what we're looking for so that we can grow.
How can these young people find you? The ones like, who are feeling, who've watched this and now they feel like they want to get into this sector.
The best place to find me is in the factory.
Okay, great.
Come to Shona EPZ, come to Athi River, ask for Shona EPZ, ask for me, and I'll be more than glad to walk you through our facility and also to get to listen to what you have.
So that was Isaac Maluki with Shona EPZ. See you next time.